Looking to play your wildcard in Game Week 8? Well, you've hit the jackpot with this video. I've got not just one, but two wildcard drafts to take you through. So starting off then with draft number one, I've gone for Areola in goal. I think just with his value, the fact West Ham keep a decent amount of clean sheets and he gets some space bonus on the games where he doesn't keep a clean sheet. I think he's fantastic value and it's really hard to ignore sticking him in a wildcard draft, to be honest, for the other players that he allows you to get in. Udogie, Burn and Cash, my three defenders. Udogie and Tottenham looking really quite good defensively, and I think with the fixtures they've got coming up, could conceivably get 3 clean sheets in those games in my opinion. It's the same with Newcastle, to be honest. West Ham, Crystal Palace, Wolves, pretty good fixtures, and they've looked really solid defensively, with Burn remaining their first choice left back, so I think he's got a good chance of playing each of the fixtures. The only thing I would say with Newcastle, without Botman, I think they're going to struggle a little bit more than they were before. However, they really have looked good defensively and the fixtures certainly back them up. Cash, Wolves, West Ham, Luton. Villa have a fantastic fixture run for the next 5 or 6 game weeks, to be honest. And Cash is the #1 defender in all of the Premier League for expected goal involvement. Into the midfield then, Maddison and Mbeumo, Son, Diaby and Salah. Diaby, we have to keep an eye on his fitness. He did leave the game in Game Week 7 injured. However, it's only expected to be short term and he will probably be fit to play against Wolves. As for Maddison, I think, well, Spurs look absolutely fantastic and he's central to everything that they do going forwards. And Mbeumo, a lot of people falling off Mbeumo, starting to lose faith in him. However, he could clearly have had a penalty to take against Nottingham Forest. Man United, Burnley and Chelsea. You know, Man United, they might be a Big Six team, but they are conceding goals at the moment. And I do think Brentford will go back to their 3 at the back, 2 up front formation, where I think Mbeumo is really dangerous, and I think he could quite easily score against Man United. Son just looks absolutely fantastic, particularly playing through the middle for Spurs. If he continues playing there, he's an absolutely wonderful option on the wild card. Luton, Fulham, Crystal Palace, we all know what those Tottenham fixtures are. They're absolutely fantastic. I think Son is a really must-have option, to be honest. Diaby, as I said with Cash, Villa have an unbelievable fixture run coming up. He's a fantastic player, comes with high prestige from the Bundesliga, and he's basically playing up front alongside Ollie Watkins. And the ever-consistent Mo Salah is the final midfielder. Yes, Brighton, well actually, you might think Brighton's a tough fixture, but I don't think it is. They've just conceded 6 goals to Aston Villa. They've not kept a clean sheet all season yet, so, you know, if Salah was ever to score in a game or score highly in a game, I think it could be against Brighton. His returns across this season have been so consistent. Game Week 7 was the only game week he didn't get an attacking return, and of course, he was kind of sacrificed, in my opinion, for one of the red cards that Liverpool got. I don't think it will come as a massive surprise for people to see Ollie Watkins up front. I also not going to say it's a knee-jerky reaction to how he did in Game Week 7 either. I've personally had him in my team the whole season because I just think regardless of who he plays against, he's always got a chance of getting an attacking return, and it just so happened that he got so many against Brighton. As I said with Cash and Diaby, Villa have a fantastic fixture run coming up. He might not even be on the penalties anymore, but I don't think that takes away from his strength as an FPL option. And of course, Erling Haaland, you can't really go without him at the moment, although a lot of people are suggesting you can. I don't buy into that. The only thing I would say, Game Week 8 captaincy, it's a little bit of a toss-up. Haaland with Arsenal away, probably the toughest fixture that Man City will play all season. So you could conceivably, if there was ever a week, captain someone like Son or Salah instead. Turner, Archer, Kabore and Branthwaite is my defence. Basically, I've picked the cheapest starting options in each of their position, and they can come in quite nicely if any of the starters don't start. Draft number 2 then, and you'll notice there's a few subtle differences between them. Not too many. I've got Pope and Trippier in defence for this one. I've gone a little bit more Newcastle heavy in defence just because I've been really impressed by how they've been doing defensively since their fixture swing basically earlier on in the season. Trippier, he's always got a chance, as we know, of an attacking return, and of course Newcastle looking really good defensively. I think Pope is worth the $5.5 million price tag. Obviously Newcastle looking much improved defensively, and he's always got a chance of saves bonus in every game he plays. Udogie and Cash, we've already spoken about them. So a couple of slight changes to the midfield. Mainly you'll notice there's no Mo Salah in here. To fit in the Popes and the Trippiers of the world, you have to sacrifice Mo Salah basically. The question is, does going for Pope and Trippier instead of Areola and Burn offset the points difference that Mo Salah will get against the likes of Bruno Fernandes and Jared Bowen. That's a decision for you to make, and that's why there's a couple of drafts on screen. I'll talk about Bruno Fernandes and Jared Bowen very quickly. Bruno is still putting up really, really good numbers against the other midfielders in FPL. He's right up there in terms of chances created and expected goals. His open play expected goals are not too bad. Brentford have not looked great defensively. That's his fixture in Game Week 8. They've conceded pretty much every week so far this season. Sheffield United, obviously one of the weakest teams we've ever seen in the Premier League, in my opinion. So a couple of good fixtures there for Bruno Fernandes to repay the faith that managers are going to have in him if they have him in their team come Game Week 8. Jared Bowen, consistent returns across this season. What I really like about Jared Bowen, and of course Bruno Fernandes, both of them play every game for their respective teams for 90 minutes. So you rarely have to worry about them not starting, even with European football to contend with. So yeah, these guys are surefire starters, and I think across the season they will definitely get you some returns. Finally then, it's the same story with the strikers and the bench, so I'm not going to talk about it in too much detail. Ollie Watkins, I back into the hills for the next 4 or 5 game weeks with the fixture run and the form that he's in. And Haaland, of course, is your captain. With this team, you've obviously got left captaincy options in Game Week 8. So, I mean, it's between Son and Haaland. To be honest, if you get wind that Son is playing through the middle against Luton, Haaland with Arsenal away, I think he's a perfectly decent captaincy alternative. Alright, and that's the end of the video. A couple wildcard drafts there for you. Not just one, you got 2 with that one. Let me know what you think of them in the comments. Obviously, there's not too much in difference between the 2 of them. Basically, one's got Salah in it, one hasn't. The one without Salah, I've spent a bit more on other positions. And I think that's the key decision most players are going to have to make when they make their wildcard drafts for Game Week 8. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please leave me a like rating and subscribe to the Golden Goal channel, which should be just there. And I'll catch you in my next video.